community was trying to figure out why that would be the case. Because you would expect that if life evolved on other planets, that they would take on some type of other being, so to speak, not necessarily look humanoid or be black light such as we are. But apparently, we got quite a few of the species out there that are humanoid in appearance, and that creates a question that has to be answered by science.
No ears as such. The eyes contain vertically slit pupils with a flame or an orange colour surrounding. They have wide lipless mouths which contain various types of teeth, including fangs. Some have thin fleshy spines under their chin. Their skin is scaled, usually greenish brown or light grey in colour and hairless. The scales on their backs, thighs and upper arms are quite large, with hands, abdomen and face being covered with smaller scales, allowing more flexibility. Reptilians' bodies are lean and firm with powerful arms and legs, long arms and 3 fairly long fingers and an opposable thumb. The feet have 3 toes and 1 recessed 4th toe that is toward the back side of the ankle. Claws on the hands and feet are short and blunt. They do not have teeth on their upper torso and there is no navel.
She produced a baby, and this baby was presented at the ritual and killed, and that is the price, the firstborn between these two, and eventually these two will marry, and that is the price that is to be paid, the sacrifice of the firstborn between the union of these two people. I've seen that there. It's something else that sticks out in my body. And there is a Mothers of Darkness castle or chateau in Brussels, Belgium. They've been there too. And also in France, the Marquis de Pindar has a castle in the Alsace-Lorraine region of France, and I believe it's in the Alsace region that he uses, and there are certain rituals done at that castle down in the dungeon. There is a natural formation of rocks that kind of glow green, and they keep menstrual blood in that formation, and this green glowing from these rocks actually turns the blood a darker color, and it's called black blood.
Where do the rituals take place that you've been involved in? What are your memories of conducting the rituals for the royal family? What happened? What were they doing?
One thing that sticks out in my mind is that there was, before, this was back in the late 70s. There are eggs. It's like a nest of eggs kept down in that part where it's warm. It's very warm down there into this entrance, and these eggs are kept.
The reptilian society is very structured, and there is a hierarchy where we have the elite group, which is the white-winged reptilians. They're very tall, actually have icy blue eyes, and very sleek but powerful bodies. And then it works down all the way, 7 levels in at least the Draco Empire, to a workforce or drone-like reptilians, which are quite small, perhaps 3 or 4 feet high, very brown, scaly skin, not very intelligent, basically do what they are told. In between, you have a military class, you have a spiritual or religious leaders that are very much like we would have bishops and cardinals and popes. They also have an intellectual caste, and then a general mass of people. For all intents and purposes, if you really wanted to know what the Draco Empire hierarchy was like, just look at the Hindu caste system, which was based on that. If you read about Hindu legend and even anything in East Asia, it talks about the Naga, which were the 7-headed reptilians, which came ashore in Asia after the continent sank in the Pacific and was spoken about in all of the Asian, Southern Asian, and East Asian legends and histories. The 7-headed reptilian, or Naga, really represents the 7 levels of the caste system in the Draco Empire hierarchy. The first time I ever had contact with reptilian beings was when I was working as a teenager, believe it or not, in the Montauk Project between 1970 and 1983. They were what I would consider to be of the military or warrior class, very large, powerful, mean-looking, scary-looking, and you're 13, 14 years old and you see an 8 or 9 foot tall creature with fangs and green and yellow eyes coming at you. It's very scary. They were kind of there as observers, along with observers from the U.S. government, the Israelis, the Russians, Germans, and even British. They were there to watch and exchange information on the programming techniques and the technology that the U.S. government had developed from other alien technologies, as well as what they had discovered from Atlantean technologies, which were discovered underneath the Montauk Point. My concerns about the future as far as reptilians are concerned is that the information that will be presented to the public about them will not be accurate. I know that the U.S. government and basically the world government is preparing to unleash a staged alien invasion on the planet, meaning they will use the Blue Beam Project, which is holographic technology, which can be picked up on radar and actually heard and felt by those on the surface. In fact, I think that was the testimony. This is an alien reproduction vehicle, and just to be clear, this means that it is based on advanced anti-gravity and zero-point energy propulsion systems. Those are the propulsion systems. They are being manufactured by a consortium of companies that include Lockheed Martin, Northrop, SAIC, and other corporations. They do have superluminal capacity, in other words, faster than the speed of light capacity. I think that Mr. McCandlish and other witnesses that he's identified could go into more of the technical physics of it. I'm just a country doctor from Virginia, I tell people, I mean, really. And, but this is actually, the reason it's called alien reproduction vehicle is that it's based on the study of extraterrestrial vehicles, but it is manufactured by human military intelligence, aerospace contracting arrangements, and this is very important. It means that we, Homo sapiens, have the ability to access this so-called zero-point field of energy, which is the ambient field of energy from which all matter and energy is fluxing. In 1989, we have cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference, except for some of the things that they might be able to go ahead, even in the dark room, and touch an object and go ahead and smell, sight, hearing. The situation is that you have various types of what we normally call grays. We didn't call them grays in the military, but you had at least 3 types of the grays. You had some that were much taller than we were. The unique thing that I'd like to point out for the most part is that the entities that we did catalog were in fact humanoid. Now this created a situation.
By Ed being mentioned, the Queen Mother Queen, and it's about a subject they were mentioning Diana, and they were mentioning his son, Dodi, and at the time I didn't know who Dodi was. I knew who Diana was. I never saw her at any rituals. The one person that she seems to be afraid of is Pindar.
People would also look at the Queen Mother's elderly, frail stature and find it very difficult to see her taking part in rituals and doing anything, if you like, active. Do they go into a different state in terms of age and strength and all these other attributes when they actually shapeshift?
Yes, the human body that they choose to occupy or take when it was young, it ages. But when they take the reptilian form, these reptilians live hundreds of years. And so they have to have taken more than one human body to live in. A lot of them are much, much older, and I'm including the Queen Mother in this, older.
What have you seen the royal family do, the Queen Mother, and the other people you've seen in the rituals? What have you seen them do?
I've seen all of them drink human blood and consume human flesh, and they have their own goblets in which they have blood, and these goblets are encrusted with jewels, and they also have their own daggers, and that the dagger goes into the goblet, and they're doing this, and I've seen them do this, and some of them have even, like the Queen Mother I saw she had her own little, like almost, it's between a very elaborate ornate chair or a throne kind of thing brought in for her to sit.
What's your experience of the Queen Mother?
She is very cold in reality, and she is very cruel, and she is very different than she comes across to the public. She's cold-blooded. If she feels that you are someone beneath her, even in the Illuminati, that you're at her equal or your station is above her, she will not speak to you, she will not recognize you. She obviously, from what I see, enjoys consuming human flesh. It's sickening.
I could never work it out. I never tried, really. What does X equal? Couldn't give a shit, mate. Whatever you say. Ain't bothered. I've lived 56 years, right? I've never used bloody algebra. I've never entered my mind. Get that one. Delete file. Was that the car that lady just went for? Watch this. Shut up. Now let's talk about this and get all moral about it. Let's talk about Janet Jackson's breast at the Super Bowl. Hey, the moral fibre of America is collapsing. Oh, no, that's the moral. This is fighting for peace. This is just collateral damage. Don't worry about it. As Gandhi said, what difference does it make to the dead, the orphans and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or the holy name of liberty or democracy? None whatsoever. They're all tyrannies when they do that. Then we have the money. What you do is you go to the bank and you borrow money that has never, does not, and will never exist, called credit, and then you mortgage your house to it, you mortgage your car to it, your land to it, your business to it, and if you don't pay back money that doesn't exist, called credit, then the people that have lent you that non-existent money get your car and your business and your house. Guess that makes sense. And this money scam, where they get us into debt by borrowing money that has never, does not, will never exist, is in the very DNA of society. It controls choice, controls maneuverability, or if we allow it to. Controls society. And who controls money? Controls society. Who controls money? A tiny few people, as we'll see. But we don't want to talk about that. Hey, honey, quick, on the Jerry Springer Show, this man's gonna hit his girlfriend. Quick, quick. Watch this. Shut up. It's a crazy, crazy world. But why? Why is it an upside down, lunatic world that we live in? People might say, oh, it's all a coincidence. Just happened like that. Well, I would say after 20 years of this, that it is coldly calculated to be like this because of the outcome that it gives those who are manipulating society in this way. And it's not just one level. There are multi-levels to this conspiracy. Yes, there's dark suits sitting around the table and orchestrating this to an extent, but they're still the gophers playing it out. It goes much, much deeper, and we'll go there as we go along today. The reason we are confused about the world and everything that goes on in it is because we don't have the coordinates. We don't have the coordinates from which to see how things fit together. You just see fog. And after a while, it seemed to me and others that it was just going straight. And I thought, this solid thing is going to France. What's going on? And I said to one of the crew, what's happening? This is not going the right way, is it? For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by extension, the truth becomes the greatest enemy of the state. And the truth that is most suppressed, the biggest lie of all of them, on which all the others are based, is it's all an illusion. This physical world is not physical, it's not even out there, it's in here. It's a holographic projection, so I'll come to as we go along. It's an illusion of physicality, an illusion of solidity. We are consciousness, and it's so easy to trick the brain to see reality in ways that are not actually what it's looking at. This is this amazing, and that's who we are. Ethel Jones, Charlie Smith, I'm a taxi driver, a doctor, whatever. No! They are what we are experiencing. They're not who we are. There are many multiple levels to us. This is just one that allows us to experience this reality. If I want to pick that up, my consciousness could not pick that up because it's vibrating too quickly. It's not in sync in the frequency range of that, so I couldn't do it. I take on this outer shell that operates within the frequency range that I want to experience. Now I can interact with it. Simple as that. We are consciousness working through a physical body. All life is consciousness and energy, animating holographic forms, including plants, everything. We are consciousness. And basically it's this. It was looking into this world that we're experiencing. And as the telescope appeared, so it morphed into a human body. And that's what the body is. It's a telescope that allows consciousness to experience this reality of apparent division, and have the experience of that. But we've got trapped in the belief that that is the totality of who we are. Consciousness and the body interact during an experience here, but the body is not who we are. It's interesting, this energy field, we call the aura, whatever. You have energy coming down through the top of the head and out and going the other way, and it's like an electrical burst of energy going through the body, which throws out this electromagnetic field that we call the aura. In which case, we will have access to a massively expanded level of awareness. Or, and that's what this is basically, this eggshell I talk about, it is the body consciousness, the auric field working directly through the body. And if we get isolated in that, then our level of reality perception and what we can perceive and expand our mind to understand is massively suppressed.